Alright, sibumbuzo verse 3 manje. Question 3. So question 3 yona ke is made up of 13 marks. So yabona yona uthe uqina kancane akona ilo ya 8. So we did 8 marks from question 1. We did 8 marks from question 2. So manje we did 13 marks from question 3. Let's funde. Study the following waveform diagram for a wave traveling at 340 meters per second in air. Nasi speed sale wave sesiyasazi u340 meters per second. Na medium yale wave umoya. Okay. Asibukeni ngani diagram. We have a displacement ngala. Vele the maximum displacement is the amplitude, as you can see, amplitude U2, yabo? And then we have isikhathi la x-axis since it's an independent variable, and then we have this 0,01 on this point. Ukusho ukuthi le wave there if ihamba because ifike la it takes 0,001 seconds. So by law this is alright, so the 5 times 10 to the negative 4. Ungakwazi go represent as a decimal. What's a 0 or 0 or 4? It's 1, so 3, 4. Kuyima sekuzoqala le number 5 for seconds. Yabo? So ngendlela ongayi expressa ngayo le number le. So siyithole kanjani ke le answer le? 5 times 10 to the minus 4 seconds. Let's recap. We were given a wave, transverse wave, nance. And then le wave into abasinika yona basitshela ukuthi sinama wave cycles amabili la lokho sitholele thina iphela la eyokuqala ngithi iphela la kule stange sifaka yaba ale ngefuthi la izophela la kuleli dot eli green. So basinikeza nesikhathi sakhona la, which means it took 0.001 seconds to move 2 wave cycles. So to move 1 complete wave cycle, should low number divided by 2. Yabo? Which is what we did there. So t is equal to 0.01 seconds divided by 2. So that's why 5 times 10 to the power of minus 4. So this is just 1 mark. 1 mark. So if you've done it like this, pause before siyiqale i-video and attempt it yourself. Remember, you are watching this lesson of paper March 2018 physics paper 1 la grade 10. If ungakaze ufunde, do not watch this video. Go back to our lessons whereby we are teaching you lokho esikuphendulayo la. And then you can only come back here after you finish the syllabus on term 1. You are now revising for any exam. Ukusho ukuthi umuntu ekumele ngabula umuntu osefundile usethola i-practice or usethola indlela zokuphendula. Not because we are from scratch awukazi uyazi lento. No, we shouldn't do that. Go to our lessons under grade 10 physical sciences, wave, sound and light, and then you can come back to this topic. Okay, so this is just 1 mark, 1 complete wave cycle. Ukuthi nje ikwenzele i-crest ne-trough isiphelele. So which is why ukuza nje la kusinikeza 5 times 10 to the minus 4 seconds ukuza la on this point. Yabo? So manje ke we have our velocity, we have our period, which is 5 times 10 to the minus 4 seconds. And then from here on, we're going to question 3.2. Alright, now we'll again 2 marks. What's it? Define a wavelength. Iyini wavelength. So far my definitions out too, and both of them are acceptable. A wavelength. Wavelength, the length of a wave. It is the distance between two consecutive crests or two consecutive troughs. Okusho ukuthi lokude nje lobu gives you your wavelength. At the same time, lokude lobu also gives you iyini wavelength. Yabo. But so sichaze nini? Sibhala ngokubomvu. So the first one is also 3.2 wavelength is a measure of the distance between two consecutive crests or two consecutive troughs in a wave. Definition of parallel. So the wavelength is a measure of the distance between two consecutive crests or two consecutive troughs in a wave. Ake sichaza ngenye indlela. Omunye angayichaza ngale ndlela. Angathi wavelength. So a wavelength is a measure of the distance between any 2 points in a wave that are in phase. It means the same thing. So Lapho, as you can see, the 2 points now are in phase. Why? They will reach the rest position at the same time. But okay, point these points will reach the x-axis or the rest position at the same time. So now the distance between them is the wavelength ngakhona. Yabo? Which is why ngithi mina i-diagram yakho uboyidwebe eceleni noma usebenzisa ipensela uxilizele kulona ubhale kuyona yonke into ofuna ukuyichaza or ofuna uyi-understand at that time. Kanje njengoba ubona senza nathi. Lingahlandiseli clean unless you know everything and you can remember everything by head. Alright, so this is my definition of wavelength. Wavelength is a measure of the distance between two consecutive crests or two consecutive troughs. Wavelength is a measure of the distance between any 2 points. Any 2 points in a wave that are in phase. Which means in the in phase, they will reach the rest position, they will come back to the rest position at the same time. Let's move on to question 3.3. Alright, so question 3. How many wave cycles are there between points x and y? Point x and y. Now the point x and no y. No y. Okay. Manga wave cycles ala kulesikhala lesi between x no y. So, buka lana. One wave cycle angithi iyodwa le. Okusho ukuthi ngasho ukuthi kungenzeka ufike kube khona lo and then kube khona lo ngikhala and then let's use lo ngikhala futhi and then again let's use lo ngikhala abo sensiwakhala awafona man. It's the same thing God iyalingana le nto le. Why am I doing this? Ngizama ukukuvezela ukuthi the 4 equal parts make up one whole. Uyayizwa nje le. okusho ukuthi uze mawuthi this is one wave cycle. One wave cycle. Okusho ukuthi iyodwa nje lento ethe noma le enye ethe noma le enye ethe noma le enye ethe. It doesn't matter noma ingama kanjani. It is equal to 25% kahle kahle. 25% of one wave cycle. Yabo? Okusho ukuthi 25% 50 yala umnyuka 25% 50% 75% 100%. Yabo? So that means iyodwa lento le eyokwehla nenyuka kanjalo kanjalo is 25% of the wave. Asambeni sobheka ukuthi yini kahle kahle sinayo ke between x and y. Now that we know ukuthi iyodwa is 25% of one wave cycle. So between x no y la kuyehla kunyuke. Yabo? Kanti asidwebe kahle le imina oyidwebe kabi. So kahle kahle ibiyehla ngala kanje yangithi. And then la ibisizoqala yangithi. And then nala iphinde inyuke. Nala iphinde yele. Noma let's use different colors khona uzokwazi ukuyibona because mayiyodwa izokunikeza inkinga. So we need 4 different colors. Now what colors are saying is we have blue, red, orange and black. So le esuka la eyihlayo kanje. Now, yeah, I see dribble part because it's between x and y. Alright, so that is our first one. Elandela na let's use orange. Ile suka la ezakanje la esansi. Alright, ile. And then sesifuna enyukayo, we'll make it red. Umuke 25% lo. And then eyokugcina we'll make it blue le. Eyangale. And then we are done. Last yazi ukuthi kukhona no y. Ilo besikwazi. Because angithi ngala khumbula ukuthi ukhona ethela. Nala kukhona into ethela. Ngakhohlwa lo angithi. But asikunakho ke lokho yonke into lela. Asinaki. Asinendaba nje nayo. So, khumbule 25%, 25%, 25%, 25%. Akhumbula iyodwa sesiyazi ukuthi 25% ngithi. Bangako 25% bawu4. So 25, 50, 75, 100. So this is 100% of one wave cycle. Okusho ukuthi i-answer yethu becomes 1. Njengoba bethe how many wave cycles between points x and y? Sesiyazi phela 1. So let's write our final answer. 3.3. So bhala ukuthi 1 wave cycle. And then lapho ke siyawuthola 1 mark wakho. Yabo? So asinafukuzi kakhulu just for 1 mark. Let's go to question 3.4. Okay, so 3.4. Calculate the frequency of this wave, 2 marks. Iyini frequency. I told you every time sihlangana nama questions whereby there's a term phakathi, we have to define it. Not because we are asked, because we are practicing how to define it. Frequency is the number of waves or the number of pulses passing through a point per second. Okusho ukuthi sibala ukuthi mangaki ama waves or mangaki ama pulses azodlula kwi-fixed point, kwi-point elinganyakazi ngesecond elilodwa. So siyibaleke lo number leyo, lo frequency leyo, measured in hertz, Hz. So what are we given? The speed, dang it. So we can't use V is equal to F lambda. We have V, but we want to F and we don't have a wavelength. So Lapho, we can't have unknowns out. So asikwazi phela ukuthi equation inama variables awu 3 saza yodwa. So awuthola kanjani lamanye awu2? Ngeke. Yabo? So we have to use le ethi frequency is inversely proportional to a period. Okay. Yabo? And then Lapho uzothola frequency is inversely proportional to 1 all over. But uthi ufaka lo T lo esutholile lo ambuzo noma sifaka lo. Remember this T, it is the time it took for 2 wave cycles, and this is for 1 wave cycle. So we only take for 1 wave cycle. So the last is a 5 times 10 to the minus 4. So our frequency is, so what's the calculator here? So it's 1 divided by 5 times 10 to the minus 4. So 2000. 2000 hertz. Hertz, it is the unit of measurement of a frequency, which means ngesecond elilodwa kudlula ama pulses or kudlula ama waves awu 2000. Yabo, it's so fast. Awu 2000. So nje lento kudlula lo about 2000 ngesecond elilodwa. So imagine how fast that is. Go fast nje ngenye indlela. Hamba amamitha awu 340 ngesecond elilodwa. Yabo? So nje zonke lezi zinto zi-interconnected zonke. So this is how we answer umbuzo osibuza i-frequency when we are given or when we have the period of the wave, which is the time taken for 2 consecutive crests to pass a fixed point. Yabo? 2 marks nje lo again olula la ukuthola with the formula the answer ekugcineni. 2 marks work. If it was 3 marks, you would have gotten an answer for a substitution as well. Yabo? And so ideally for 2 marks. And now we're going to question 3.4. Alright, so calculate the wavelength of this wave. So asibuze eqala yini le wavelength abathi asibale phela. Ngobani akukho akulungile ukuthi ubale into ongayazi. Uyabo? So i-wavelength, i-wave length isegameni length, wave length okusho ukuthi ubude bayo le wave eyodwa, which means the length of one wave cycle. Yabo? And its definition ithini kade sichazile kulo mbuzo. Its definition of wavelength, it is the distance between 2 consecutive crests or 2 consecutive troughs. Ngaze ngakunikeza yesibili ngathi omunye ngabhala ukuthi it is the distance between any 2 points on a wave that are in phase. Yes, omunye ngayichaza kanjalo. Alright. So, uthola calculate the wavelength of the wave. Khumbula, i-frequency sesi now you 2000 hertz sibali. Now i-wavelength. So since the formula for i-wavelength, we have T, we have V, we have so since the wave equation, it's V is equal to F lambda. If you have been following on our lessons, we ask what we've done the formula kanje. We've done ibalo kanje. Okay, so V is V is 340 meters per second. So 340 is equals to F, which is our frequency. So see now it is 2000 multiplied by the wavelength. The wavelength le asiyazi. Remember, you were told write neatly and legibly. Ukuthi ubhala kambi or ubhala kahle, it doesn't matter. Space out umsebenzi wakho ukuze uzokwazi ukubonakala. Your main goal is uthisha wakho or your marker, umuntu ozokumakela abone. That's all. ungaze uzofuna manje uku-underline ufaka ama-highlights udwebe iy'mbali. It's not important yonke loo nto. Space out umsebenzi wakho kahle ukuze uzokwazi ukubonakala. So 2000 multiplied by the wavelength gives us 340. So now we will divide by 2000 on both sides because this is an equation. And then lo akhanselane nalo. We are left with lambda, which is our wavelength. So lingana no, put this we calculate. That's the calculator, you check is it in the right settings in. And then so let's see. Fraction 340 divided by 2000 gives us 0.17 meters. Iyini wavelength, the distance between two consecutive crests or two consecutive troughs. Iyona any wavelength yet. So how do we get the 3 marks here? It's very simple here. Correct formula, correct substitution and simplification, and final answer. So labani 3 whole marks. Never 3.5 lowest uphendulile. So you were able to define what's in wavelength. You were able to recognize what you have calculated the frequency and you have been given the speed of the wave. So you can use the wave equation to get the wavelength. Okuyigona esikwenzile la. Omunye mhlawumbe ubengenza i-wavelength ibe subject of the formula. Menza lokho uzokwenza kube u-v divided by f, which is what we have vele la. Yabo? So you don't even need to use a triangle la, since the formula yakho starts in this form. Yabo? Alright, so when you need to understand ukuthi la we are going to keep information ela with diagram. Uzoyisebenzisa ngala kwama calculations. But ukuthi uthathana ikona ke manje crucial kakhulu. Why? Awukwazi ukuthatha noma iphi number ngithi. Buka nje la ko2 asikazi basebenzisa. Yabo? Who knows, on the upcoming questions we might. But ke kuyokwenza ngelinye ilanga ukuthi unike izinto eziningi ongayidingi. Ungayitshethi yonke into onikwa yona uzoyisebenzisa no. Okudingayo wena thatha kona. Ongakudingi yeke. Kuyeke kanjani. Siphenduleni manje question 3.6. Alright, so now 3.6. So copy the wave diagram in your answer book. Label this wave A. Le copy the answer book yakho. So since sisebenzisa i-board, now we will use vele le icon. So let's just remove keep x nalo y lo, and then we label the wave A. So the wave is A. And then la so I manje 3.6.1 on the same diagram khona ngola lo diagram yakho. Draw a second wave with a pitch twice that of A and amplitude that is half of A. Draw a second wave with a pitch which is twice as that of A, which would say if frequency is twice ka A, and an amplitude that is half of A. Okay, so amplitude here, amplitude. I do 2 meters obviously is about 1, which means le njengoba le kade ijika njila kade ijika la nale kade ijika la u2. So manje sizojika la ku1. Let me just use a different color. Sizojika ku positive 1 manje no negative 1. Okay, this is ohamba la manje. This is just an outlining khona ngizobona mase ngidwebe ukuthi ngizojika. Label this wave B. Indicate the relevant times for each wave cycle. Khumbule ukuthi la go 5 times 10 to the power of -4. But isibalile lapho. So la fana ukuthi u0,0005 la. Because but indicate the relevant times. Alright. So manje, let's try and draw the wave manje. We will use blue. The color blue. Okay, so the wave has an amplitude of 1, it is enclosed la. So it has twice the frequency. Yeah, twice the frequency, which means njengoba la ihamba bani 1 wave cycle uzifike la, which means twice the frequency izohamba ama wave cycles amabili la, which means sifuna ukufaka into ekanje 1 2 la yonke sifuna ukuyifaka la. So sizoyidweba kanjani ke, which means le eyodwa nale engeyodwa ama wave cycles awu2 akumele azafike la kubani ku 0.005. So uma yangayinyusa la ijike ku1 obviously ibuye ijike la ibuye idlule la ibuye bese izovala la, yabo. But ke asiqaleni ngesidwebo. So suka la kwi rest position u0 phela lo ungakhohlwa ngithi sisoka i rest position siyanyuka siya ku1 siyabuya siyehla siyojika ku -1 siyabuya siyanyuka sijika +1 siyabuya, and then la before nje sele buka ke la. So manje la siyehla kanje, yabo, because manje sizama ukufaka enye futhi i-wave cycle. Asijikise nje la le. Okay, iyanyuka iyojika la ibu idlule izojika la bese yafika la, yabo, awu2 in a space of 1. And then so pinda the same thing here futhi izonyuka ize la ijika izojika la ibuye yenze njani izophuma la ijike la ibuye ijike -1 izovala. Naye ke le wave, and we'll label this wave bani u-B, yabo. And then base bathini ke emva kwalo, base bathi indicate the relevant times for each wave cycle. Nasi isikhathi 0.005 lo 5 times 10 to the -5 ekade siwuthola ekuqaleni inkathi sicalculate period sitheni lo divide by 2 sathola lo iyona answer yakho na ke. And then you check ke manje amplitude batheni twice the frequency kunama wave cycles awu2 la kukhona eyodwa in the same time, so it has twice the frequency. And then half the amplitude ya A u2 and ya B u1, yabo. So everything so far it is correct. So sidweba kanjena ke lento lena when you could use different ngathini when you're using a pencil only for ukudweba, which means A wakho mhlambe will be bold ngokuthi nje ugqamise ngepensela lakho, and then u-B will be a dotted line, kuba ama dotted line ukuze lo muntu ozokumakela akwazi ukubona, oh, so the dotted line means this is wave B and the straight line means this is wave A, kanjalo kanjalo. Umnikeza i-direction ama guidelines on how to understand umsebenzi wakho, uyayizwa nje le. So sidweba kanje just for u3 marks. Asini ku question 3.6.2. Alright, question 3.6.2 ukhuluma ngayo nade sidweba manje. So how does the wavelength of wave B lwathi udwetshwa when compared to that of wave A? Okusho ukuthi i-wavelength ka-A le kade ikhona nale wavelength ka-B ikanjani, yiphi enkulu yiphi encane? But bona bathini u-B ncane noma mkhulu ngino-A, kodwa bathi asebenzisa amagama u-longer than futhi u-B mude ngino-A, or equals to u-B alingana no-A, or shorter than u-B mncane no-A. Naye ke diagram esesidwebile nangu-A nangu-B. If le diagram le ungayiboni kahle, you can send a message on WhatsApp usho ukuthi ngicela ningisendela le question le March 2018 physics paper 1 yaka grade 10, because mhlambe la njengoba ngisebenzisa ifone iscreen esincane angikwazi ukuyibona kahle i-diagram. So uzokwazi ke lapho wenze njani ukuthi uyithole sikusendele khona ku WhatsApp. Alright, so sibona ngani ke i-wavelength, the distance of one wave cycle, ngakhohlwa lo le ilodunjana eyodwa ngithi le, but ke asikwazi ukuyibala phela maye kanje. Senza njani? It is the distance between two two crests or troughs, yabo. Buka lana. Now ama crest la. Yabo ubude bakhona mngakanani? Kodwa buko bala mncane. So, about aba B are actually shorter than aba A. Yes, let's look at different points. Let's begin ama troughs. Now ama troughs. I-distance ingaka, but must figure la bu ingakanani. Yabo? Which means kahle vele A is shorter. Yabo? Ngoba vele it has a higher frequency, so it has to have a lower wavelength vele. Shorter than. So 3.6.2. 1 mark nje lo olula kakhulu ongadinga isikhathi esiningi. Uyawubhala. Shorter. Oh, now sengikhohlwe H. Shorter than. And then maglakho elilodwa usulitholile. Yabo? So this is the last question kwini ku question 3 under the paper of March 2018 physics paper 1. So we've done 13 questions, 13 marks njalo for lo mbuzo lo question 3. So if ukhona i-part ongayi-understandanga uyazi, there's always an opportunity for you to ask. Usho ukuthi okay, ngiyibonile question 3 or ngiyibonile iphepha la March 2018 physics paper 1 lipostiwe and ngisanenkinga uku-understand the last question mhlambe ku question 3, yabo, and then sizokwazi ukuchazela again lo mbuzo lo up until you are ready to answer it for yourself ungawuboni. So manje we moving on to question 4.